Is it going? How come it's not playing? We'll see. Hold on. I don't know why it's not playing. This is so weird. All right, welcome to the inaugural episode of Tinfoil Hat, the podcast. I'm Sam Tripoli. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm super excited about having my guest on. I've known him for, I feel like 15 years. You've seen his jiu-jitsu tournament on the Fight Pass, his legendary battles with the Gracies, and you can see him on Fight Companion with Joe Rogan, Brandon Schaub, and Brian Callen. My good friend, mi amigo, Eddie Bravo, everybody.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to have you on. This podcast is called Tinfoil Hat. I just want to really say something before we get started. This is not about like yelling and screaming at everybody. This isn't Alex Jones stuff. This to me is just about let's have a fun look at what's going on out there with people who see it. Now, I was going to have a guy come in who's kind of like the contrarian, and he was, but I felt like there's enough of that out there. I just want to kind of explore like the quote unquote conspiracy theory world, what's on out there, what's going on with that. And I want to start by asking you, Eddie, why do you think people reject most of your conspiracy theories? Why is it so hard for people to come to grips with some of the stuff that maybe you and I see, or people who are quote unquote unplugged? Why is it so hard for them to come to grips with maybe some stuff that might be going on out there, in your opinion?
There's a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is we're brought up, conditioned by the media and by what we learn at school and the history that's been written for us. And we're conditioned to just take science, if someone says, hey, scientists are finding out this, or scientists say this, currently scientists are saying this, we're conditioned to think that just because you put the word science in something, that it's true. It's science. And how could you not believe in science? It's science. But really, it's not about science. It's about unbiased science. It's about science that hasn't been bought and paid for. And you look at what the science that's been bought and paid for back in the tobacco science. We know science can be bought and paid for. It's if you can get everyone to believe in science, and that's easy. I mean, because who doesn't believe in science?
Right.
Science,
and you
science.
almost laughed at if you don't believe in science.
Yeah. But science is real as long as it's unbiased.
Right.
So we're brought up to believe if you're smart, you believe in science.
Right.
If you're dumb, you believe in myths and shit.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing, because if I'm running the world, I want everyone to believe in science, and then the goal is to control the science.
Right.
And then you got them. You got everybody.
Well, and
so
we've
people
seen
don't
that
get the
over and over
racket. Yeah,
again.
people don't get the racket. They just think, and the craziest thing is how quickly we believe things because it says in some book or on the internet or somewhere, just a scientists say this, or you just look up and you don't know shit. Like if you looked up the distance between the Earth and the Sun, it would say 93 million miles on the internet, in the library, everywhere. It'll say 90, and people are like, "Fuck yeah, that's science." We believe, We believe it. We don't know who figured it out, or how they figured it out. We don't know shit when they figured it out. We don't know anything. We just believe that's science. and it must be right. It's science.
In a weird way, you see that. I always say it's about prank videos. It's like when you really watch a prank video, what these people are doing is really taking advantage of trusting people. These people are just nice, trusting people, and they put them in this weird situation, and they flip the fuck out, and everyone laughs at them. But you're like, those are nice people. Like when Johnny Knoxville puts the baby on top of his RV and starts driving, and everyone's running, and everyone's laughing at how stupid they are. But those are trusting people. We are raised to trust people.
We were raised to trust science.
Science.
Yeah,
People,
and-
authority. We are raised to trust authority. And what really it is because we do a lot of projecting in life. We really love to project our thoughts and the way we operate on other people that we don't even know. We don't even know how they operate. We've just been told, like kind of like you were saying, 93 million miles. These are good people. They're authorities. They care about. We're told from the minute we get in the public school that the leaders have our best interests. We're a team. The team, it's us versus them. Those guys are bad guys. All this stuff, and we start to buy into this, and we very much project our views onto these people that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Like Kobe Bryant, let's say, and we'll get into the more political stuff, but when Kobe Bryant gets accused of doing something in Colorado, everybody flips out because they know Kobe from the commercials. And they're like, no way that Kobe from the commercial could do that. And it's like, no, you don't really know that motherfucker, and you don't really know how he fucking operates. So you don't know who he is as a person. And a great example is this, and I'll get into it later. I was having a discussion with my friend the other day about Pizzagate, right? And my theory of Pizzagate is I don't know if it's happening, but I can't say it's definitely not happening. And I don't think you can say it's definitely not happening. And he did the projection thing. And he goes, do I believe that people were sending emails to everybody saying pizza slices this, cheese this, all that, and ordering children over the thing? It's like, no, I don't believe that. You know why? I go, why? He goes, because my wife does that all the time. My wife is constantly, she runs a Jewish children's summer camp, and she's constantly ordering pizza on her email. I go, you just did it. You just projected yourself into this Podesta guy that you don't really fucking even know. Yeah. You don't even know who that dude is. Mm-hmm. And you're saying because you couldn't do it, therefore they couldn't do it. And they're nitpicking on these little fucking things like napkins and all that stuff. And it's like, you're not seeing the forest from the trees, brother. And that's where it's kind of at. We project ourselves. Now, the reason I really want to get you in here in this day is because a lot of stuff is going on with the Russians and the emails, and we'll get into some of the other stuff. I don't know if there's a certain type of quote-unquote conspiracy you like more than anything, but I've been seeing Rogan tweeting about the Russians and all that stuff. And the reason I bring it up is it kind of goes back to believing this stuff. How quickly everybody was saying during the primaries that, Hillary wasn't doing anything to Bernie. It's not this, not that. And then we discovered through emails that it was going on, and people were stepping down, and they still dismissed it. And now that Trump got elected, now there's this thing that the Washington Post put out about how the CIA, anonymous source, puts out that the CIA has a link, an anonymous source, and everybody just runs with it. And it kind of goes back to what I saw the video when I hit you up about with Brian Callen and the Pizzagate thing, is that he was using conspiracy to shoot down your conspiracy. And it was kind of what I'm seeing going on right now, where I'm a total lefty. I'm into liberal causes and all that stuff. But I find it amazing how quickly people shot down stuff on the left and how quickly they were to accept an anonymous source to confirm what they always wanted to believe. And it just comes down to, it's a conspiracy only if it doesn't fit your narrative.
I mean, really, to me, it's basically just two sides. It's the establishment, and the establishment that's been running this country for the last 8 years, even through George W. and through Clinton. There's them, and that's like a group of gangsters,
right?
So criminals,
right?
If you look at the Clinton
Criminals in suits.
Yeah, if you look at the Clinton Chronicles and you look at even before Bill Clinton was president in Arkansas, when you look at what he did in Arkansas and all the crime and all the serious crimes that he was tied to and all the shit, and the people that died around him and Hillary and all the scams they would do. They would start these funds to help out small businesses, but that was just like what was it called, like the affordable loan bill or something. And it looks like Bill Clinton's trying to help out small businesses, but all it was something that disguised as a good cause to help out his buddies. His buddies get loans and for $1 million and they don't have to pay them back.
Yeah.
They've been busted over and over. So before Hillary even ran this time, and she ran before too, but I knew about them a long time ago.
Right.
And when you think about what happened with the Iran-Contra, when you go back to the 80s and you look at how much coke was brought through Arkansas while Bill Clinton was the governor.
It was a hubbub.
All the coke was brought through Arkansas. Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right? So you look at that, and then all of a sudden, this governor from Arkansas is running for president, and it's him and George Sr., and George Sr. was the vice president. He was the guy running everything.
Who got busted through the whole Iran-Contra thing, who basically...
But they just stayed away from involving him. When you look at the Iran-Contra hearings, dude, they just fucking talked their way out of it, and they didn't bring George W. or George Sr. into it, but he was the one running everything.
Right.
And he was the former head of the CIA.
Right.
The CIA is running coke through Mena, Arkansas, right? You look at that, and then all of a sudden, it's Bill Clinton and George Sr. having a presidential debate about sending jobs overseas and cutting fucking taxes on the rich. And you're like, oh my God, this is pro wrestling.
Yeah, that is it.
They're drug dealing partners.
Yes.
And now it's almost like, hey, listen, let us run shit through your state and we'll pay you back. We'll let you be president for 8 years.
I realized
That's what it was.
It was pro wrestling. I was very young, and I remember when Bill Clinton got invited to the presentation of Trent Lott's portrait in the Library of Congress. It was going up there, and it was a big event. You know, it solidifies him as a great leader in Washington. He's going to be in the house, the Library of Congress, and there was Trent Lott, Bill Clinton, Newt Gingrich, and one other guy I can't remember at the time. And I remember looking at that thing, going, these motherfuckers hated each other. Like, they were at each other's necks trying to destroy Bill Clinton. Here they all are, smiling with each other. And it reminded me, and even as a little kid, I sat there going, this is when fucking the Iron Sheik got busted with Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the car, shit-faced. And I remember because I was such a huge wrestling fan at the time. And when that news came out, it blew everybody's fucking mind that those two guys were partying together. And you're like, oh, it's fucking rigged and it's all fake. And I was very young at the time. But that's when I sat there going, how can that guy be smiling with these motherfuckers? And you realize it's all an inside ball game. Why do you think people are so hard to come to grips with that maybe Hillary isn't a loving woman? Like, I had somebody the other day arguing because, like, there's been documents that she took 20% of her campaign was by the Saudis. And someone said to me, if that's true, that's fine, because what she's doing is she's stealing from them and giving it to the poor. They literally called her Robin Hood. And their inability to see her for what she is, because again, it comes back to what I was saying, this projecting of their love of their mom, their sisters, their daughter, onto this woman who has consistently been busted since Arkansas, getting in trouble breaking the law, gangster fucking style, and we refuse to accept it because the narrative is they're getting busted because the Republicans are coming after them. Yet, you never see Jimmy Carter getting in trouble. You never saw Obama, for as bad as Obama is, and we can get into Obama and all that crazy shit. But what has he been brought up on? What has Michelle Obama been brought up on? How many felonies have been brought up? Name me one other first lady that has like 52 felonies brought up against her.
Yeah.
And why do people accept that?
It's really just, it's basically this. Either you believe in the official story, you believe the mainstream media, because the government does control the mainstream media.
Right.
We know the government controls mainstream media in every other country. We know that, we accept that. In Russia, China, the government controls the mainstream media, and they do here too. You can believe that or not, but that's what. There's just two sides. Either you believe the mainstream media and the government and what they say, or you don't trust them. That's it. Are you on the side that doesn't trust? It's not to say that everything they say, the establishment and the
Right.
media, are lies, but you got to be suspect of everything. They're all criminals. So you got to, if you're actually really searching for the truth, you got to look at this as a case that was in trial. You got the defendants, the government, the establishment, the media. Those are the defendants. And then the prosecutor is you. You're a concerned citizen about your kids. And how would a detective investigating the case, would he ever say something like, there's no way that guy could have did it. You think that guy would have done it? You think he has the time to do it? You know how dumb, you know how disorganized this guy is? This guy could never do it. I don't believe he would do it. A detective would never say anything like that. No matter how, no matter who the guy was, if you're part of whatever happened, if you're anywhere in the vicinity of the crime, you're a suspect, and they're going to look into you, and no one's ever going to, no detective, not even a shitty detective, would look at a suspect and go, nah, they couldn't do that. Do I believe he would do? Nah. A shitty detective, even a shitty one would go, we're going to look into you. We got some questions for you. You know, and that, if you really want the truth, that's the attitude you got to have with the government now. Now, do you think the government, the media, do you think, like when Hillary talks, what percentage of the words that are coming out of her mouth are sincere and honest, in your opinion?
I think everything is calculated.
It's all bullshit.
It's all calculated.
If you can't see that, if when Hillary Clinton talks and you believe her, you're caught on the web. You're hypnotized. You're caught on the web. But if you listen to Hillary and everything that comes out of her mouth is all bullshit,
yes.
Hey, then you're good. Then your brain isn't tampered with yet.
Well, if you sit there and you do some research and you go deep in it, you know, and I want to ask your thoughts on fake news. I think that's just the think tanks coming up with a way to get you to run from them. And like even the smartest people I know, some people I love with all my heart, and they mean so well, and they just fake news. I'm like, you're falling for it. But as you listen to like Hillary talking about, you know, let's say Syria, and like we gotta fight ISIS and we gotta stop that, and you just know the whole time she's behind, like she's just manipulating and state, as the Secretary of State, manipulating pieces and like even though we can't open, like the thing that people don't understand is like we're ISIS and us. We're on the same team, homeboy, in a weird fucking way. That there's a four-way puzzle going together, which is Qatar, Saudi Arabia, us, and those two guys are funding, money-wise, ISIS, while we ship weapons to them. It's like when the Mexican cartel gets busted with a ton of fucking guns, U.S. guns, and Obama's like, you know, it's like we're all about the destabilization, but yet what is being talked about by Hillary is peace and love and fighting evil over there. When the truth of the matter is that she is taking tons of cash from the Saudis, that there's actually an argument that her assistant, which is why the new email thing came up, Huma, has very strong ties to the Islamic Brotherhood, and that her parents are both very high up there. The Brotherhood supported by the Saudis. It's like a weird, vicious circle. But then you hear what she says. She just says buzzwords. Like, you know, fight terrorism, fight ISIS. You know.
We're going to make America stronger.
Yeah.
She's so full of shit. And if you believe Hillary, if you're out there, one of those people crying on the streets with the signs, man, you're really in a trance. You really are.
There's too much money for the powers that be just to let shit happen.
Yeah.
By the roll of the die.
Yeah. What happened was InfoWars has been talking about Pizzagate type stuff forever. Like Alex Jones would be talking about, the world, the leaders are satanic, pedophile, they murder children, they kidnap them. So and everyone thought, okay, he's crazy. Don't believe in Alex Jones. InfoWars, don't believe that shit because that's what he's saying. They're Luciferian. They're kidnapping kids. They're torturing them. They're putting them through MK Ultra. They're sacrificing. They're eating babies. And all that sounds nuts.
Yeah.
And now when all these emails come out, and Alex Jones wasn't the only one that's saying that. And he wasn't that wasn't his conclusion of what's going on. There's people, if you look at former FBI chief Ted Gunderson, he's got 1 million videos on YouTube. He talks about this. He used to be in the FBI. He had 600 people working under him. Ted Gunderson, look him up. He's talking about this. He goes, yes, people at the top. And then it sounds crazy, but everybody is aware that, this guy's a Freemason, this guy's a Freemason. So there's a strong Freemason, Skull and Bones, Ivy League connection, like a brotherhood going on. And then you really look into Freemasonry and you look at their Bible that was written in the 1800s by Albert Pike. It's talking about Luciferianism.
Yeah.
They're talking about worshiping they're having these satanic rituals with Baphomet and all that. This is part of Freemasonry. At the highest levels, well, I got an uncle who's a Freemason and he doesn't do that. That's low level. That's like, I work for the UFC. I know what's going on. You think Dana and Lorenzo are going to talk to you because you fucking hold a camera for the UFC?
You're doing lawn maintenance on the White House, homeboy.
Yeah,
You're not part of the fucking powers
exactly.
that be.
At the high level of any company, group, team, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're on the Cleveland Browns. You don't know what the fucking owner's talking to the general manager about.
Right.
They're not involved in any shenanigans. I play fucking center.
Yeah.
You don't know shit, dude.
You are a pawn in the fucking whole chess game.
Yeah, Google Albert Pike, look at the Freemasonry Bible, and they talk about Luciferianism. And then you hear Kay Griggs, who's a whistleblower, has a 6-hour interview from the 90s, and she was married to a high-ranking George Griggs, U.S. Army general, who was a CIA assassin growing up, and she talks about his whole life. According to Kay Griggs, most of the people in charge now, high up in powerful positions, were brought up as children. They were bred for it. They were broken mentally. MK Ultra. They split their brains. There's a way. It's like old Nazi shit.
Yeah.
They knew how to break your brain. They split your brain. They talk about splitting brains, literally split your brains.
Right.
They got to put you through so much trauma that your brain splits, and then you have this split personality. And then they put you under hypnosis. They run you through. They molest you. They run you through. This is what she said, and this is what Ted Gunderson says.
Yeah.
They run you through MK Ultra mind control.
Yeah.
And they
we'll get into MK Ultra another time.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's all part of it. MK Ultra, the Satanism. Kay Griggs said the Satanism and all the rituals are used to brainwash the kids, just to make sure that they got the kids with fear of Satan or Baphomet or whatever the fuck they call him. And it's just when you're raising kids, you might not be really Catholic, but you got kids, you're yes, we're going to church just to have the fear of God in them. It's the same way. So some people are brought up and, they're just like me. I was brought up Catholic, but I really don't really believe in it.
Right.
But I'll throw my kids into some Catholicism, you know what I mean? Just to keep them in line. I'll explain it to you later when you're 20.
Yeah.
I'll say, listen, we had to do that too, just to make sure.
Tradition.
Yeah, just to make sure there was always a babysitter on you.
So when you say these things, I haven't heard a lot of that, and I'm going to research it. The average person would be like, bravo, you're fucking nuts. You're fucking nuts. There's no way any of this is fucking happening, right? But to me, man, it's just why not? We've seen this shit happen over and over again. To sit there and say that nothing like this is happening. There was a girl who did a high school experiment. She was only in 7th grade. She traced all the presidents' lineage and found out every single president is related to each other except for one. They were all on the same family tree.
Who was it?
I could look
Who
it up,
wasn't?
but it's like I forget the name though, but there was one guy.
They had to hook him up. They go, we gotta make it. He's on Bloodline.
Yeah.
We gotta let him. You know the coke.
It's all
that we-
inside ball.
Yeah.
And there's so much money involved. Like when you look at since 9/11, right? That the Pentagon has lost $13 trillion, either lost or spent on war. That is so much fucking money that no one's just gonna sit there and just let it fucking go to the roll of a dice and hope to God that we don't vote Bernie Sanders in or whoever our savior is at the time. They're never gonna let that happen. That is too much fucking money. So when any conspiracy comes up, I go, follow the money. Follow the power.
Of course.
Follow the passion.
course.
No, with Pizzagate, right? We'll get into that a little more. But with Pizzagate, I go, crimes are committed for 3 reasons. People are in jail for 3 reasons. Money, power, passion. It's mostly cash or ass that guys are in jail for. Drug dealing for money, or fucking a girl drove them crazy and they went and shot a bunch of fucking people. It's like money, power, cash. If you look at pedophile rings, it's like, that's fucking passion, dude. And that's power at the highest fucking levels. Like the people that, like, let's say Podesta, right? This is a dude who openly was saying to everybody, these are Russian hacks, these are Russian hacks. Why? Everybody who knows anything knows he owns 75,000 shares in an energy company ran by Putin. Like, it's like all inside fucking ball here, man. And it's just amazing because people want to think politics is like sports. Like if you're a D and I'm an R, or I'm a D and you're an R, and anything you do as an R is bad because I'm a D, and it's just a way they get us to fight with each other instead of all coming together and looking at what's really fucking going on. Like when these emails come out and everyone's like, "There's no way Hillary's doing it." What was the first thing they fucking said? It was Russian hacks, right?
Yeah.
So Eddie, I break into your phone, right? Let's just say I break into. I tell everybody I hacked your phone, and I put out a picture of Eddie Bravo with about 10 of the biggest black dicks all around his face, and I go, "Look at this, Eddie Bravo loves black dicks." The first thing you would say is, "Those aren't real. That's not fucking real. That's not a real fucking picture. That's not me." Would the first thing you say is, "I broke into your phone"? No. By saying that I hacked into that it was Russian hacks, you are confirming that there are some truth in those emails.
Yeah. That
those are real emails. If they were fake emails, the first thing you would say is those aren't real fucking emails.
And how about what Obama just said? I think yesterday he said, I don't know word for word, but it was something like, fake news fucked the election, and those email hacks by the Russians altered the election. We have to do something about it. But, there was really nothing in those emails, just regular day-to-day stuff. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We need to do something about Russians hacking into emails. It fucked the whole election, yet those are just regular old emails.
That mean nothing.
He just said that yesterday. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And when he explains them, dude, you could tell, even though he's a great liar and a great speaker, he went,
Yeah.
He didn't. He had trouble saying it.
We
they're
fell
not saying.
for him,
They're not
huh?
saying. They're not saying. Oh yeah, he was a big trick. It's so easy. It's so easy to
We just want to believe. We're so tired of white guys, and here comes this charismatic,
They had to throw the black guy in.
smart
They go,
guy.
we better throw the black guy in now.
Gotta throw
We gotta
him
throw-
now.
They were holding the black guy back for a while.
America's so over white guys, and everybody ran at like I just think about this today. It's like there's this narrative that white guys are just racist, evil piece of shits that are just abusive to everybody. I go, you're just trying to look at the small sample size in this country. If you go around the world, every race has committed some fucking atrocities against somebody else. There's no one group of people that is better than everybody. It's not the color of your skin. It's alphas and fucking money and fucking power. But in the narrative in this country is white guys are bad guys. So what you get is a certain group of people who want to vote for anything other than that. Yeah. So now you shove in a black guy, and then they tried the...
Because after George W., after George W., you had to put the black guy in. You had to.
Yeah.
That was hope. That's a big distraction right there.
Right.
Throw the black guy in, and on his campaign trail, he had like posters of Che Guevara in the back. He looked like he was legit.
Yeah.
He had conspiracy theorists fooled.
Yeah. Well, oh, this is the
So
guy.
that's what I'm thinking. What if the whole email, Pizzagate, what if it's all just planned like that? Like they wanted Trump in so bad, they go, you know what we're gonna do, Hillary? We're gonna run your fucking name through the mud, but ain't no one gonna do shit about it, and we'll give you fucking $1 billion. We're gonna there's gonna be a lot of Satanism involved, but we gotta get Trump in, and then we're gonna pretend like, oh, we're so angry, and we're gonna start banning InfoWars. If it's a whole trick, what if Donald Trump is a trick?
Dude.
And that was the plan the whole time to get him in?
Anything is possible.
I'm done.
I think George Bush was a trick to get Dick Cheney in. Like, Dick Cheney was so evil, no one would ever vote for him.
Yeah.
So you had to put him with this kind of charismatic guy, man. I'm just hanging out, man. You know, everyone's like, and they plant little things that people say. It's called astroturfing. They astroturfing, which is fake grassroots. You can see this great TED Talks about. It's fake grassroots. They start 1,000 different websites, you know, and they put out stuff, and everybody retweets it. Like, a great example of this is anything Saturday Night Live. Controversy from Saturday Night Live. Someone says stuff. A bunch of fucking websites put stuff up. But if you actually read what they're saying, they're all asking, is this too controversial? And it's all marketers who work together and cause fake controversy. So when Bush is running, the guys are like, hey, man, he's a guy I can have a beer with, even though he's an alcoholic and didn't drink at the fucking time. Now you got a narrative that stupid people can run with because they abuse the right through stupidity and they abuse the left through emotion. They emotionally get the left to react to stuff. The grabbing by the pussy thing. They just knew if they put that out, the left would run fucking nuts with it. Because the thought of someone saying grabbing by the pussy who's got an R by their name is 10 times worse than Bill Clinton getting on a plane called the Lolita Express 25 fucking times, going to an island where some fucking shady shit's going down that he won't let Secret Service go and see. And my friend the other day goes, yeah, he wrote it, but everybody on the plane said he didn't do anything. I'm like, a pussy hound who got busted shoving cigars in fat chicks' pussies. Didn't go do anything on a fucking plane called the Lolita with some fucking teenage girls? Are you fucking serious?
The craziest thing in my opinion about all this is you have pedophile rings and pedophiles getting busted all the time that no one knows anything about. There's no national scandal where there's like 1,000 individual independent investigators looking into it. And they're getting busted all the time. But you know what? When it comes to Pizzagate, nobody is doing shit. And they're not saying the emails are fake. They're not saying the emails are fake.
They never say it's fake.
They can't say that. Why can't they say they're fake? Why don't they just say those emails are fake? Those are doctored up emails. Why can't they say that?
I don't know. Why?
Because they lie about everything else.
Why can't they say
Why aren't they
fake?
saying that? I think they're stupid. If I was fucking Podesta, I go, listen, motherfuckers, you guys just got to say they're fake. How come you're not saying they're fake? Because they could be fake. I don't know what a real email looks like. I don't think, like, if you just take a screenshot of an email and go, ooh, look at Podesta's emails, I don't know if that's a real email or it's how I think I could fake an email. How hard is it to fake an email? It's like a document with just regular ass font, right?
Right.
It'd be easy to fake.
But I think after it got out, they started flooding it with some shady ass fake shit. It was so funny. I have a buddy of mine, the same guy I've been talking about. I don't want to say his name, but I would send him a 30-minute video. And 2 minutes later, he goes, I watched it, and it's bullshit. And you're like, it's kind of like when the FBI went through like 900,000 emails in like a day. They're like, yeah, we read every email.
Yeah, it's like people, like, again, two basic sides. Either you trust the mainstream media and the government, or you don't trust them. The people that are like, oh man, they wouldn't do that. Why do if you're just trusting them, if you're not suspect about everything that's coming out of the main
everything.
Yeah, like, I don't trust these guys. Are fucking criminals, and you're just gonna sit there and trust them.
I mean,
call me tinfoil all you want, but I'll never trust anything Hillary that comes out of her mouth. Bill Clinton, all those guys. Obama, everything Obama says is bullshit. Every fucking word that comes out of his mouth is bullshit. So you're gonna try to convince me to believe him? Please believe him. Please believe her. But like, dude, why are you so into believing the bullshit?
Yeah.
Why are you so committed to believing the bullshit?
Why do you accept that more than anything else?
I think it really comes down to this. Hypnosis is real. A certain percentage of the population can be hypnotized. Like if you go to like those hypnotist shows, they're always before the show, the hypnotist goes out, and before they started, they get a bunch of volunteers and they figure out who they could hypnotize. They're like, okay, he's no good. Keep him. Oh, we got one right here. Keep her. No, you're no good. You can sit down and keep her. And then they get the ones that are hypnotizable.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, oh my God, I'm hypnotizable. Like,
so excited.
Oh my God. And then some people can't be hypnotized, some people can. Whatever the percentage of the population is, there's a number. I don't know if it's 60% of the population can be hypnotized or 30%. I don't know what the number is, but whatever that number is, let's say 35% of the population is hypnotizable. That means that they could stand and then they wake up and then they have like trigger words and they're falling for this shit.
Yeah.
That's real. That's not fake. That's real shit.
Right.
Not everybody can get hypnotized.
Right.
But I think that as long as there's that number, whatever it's 35%, 60%, 25%, whatever that number is, I think it's been to this point, as long as the government has control of the media, whether it's television before the internet and radio before television. Damn, it was so easy when it was just radio. Whatever they put on the radio, everyone's just like sitting by the radio.
Well, that's
so easy. But whatever it is, I think with TV, with advertising, with all that, they got that percentage hypnotized with the TV because you have these smart people, and no matter, it's like they got hypnotized, right? And they got put under, and the hypnotist said, no matter what people tell you, no matter what you see, no matter what evidence is presented to you, you will obey authority, no matter what.
Well, that comes
and then they
from
wake them
school,
up.
dude.
Boom. They wake them up. Boom. And I think they're really smart and they're really good at memorizing books, fake ass science, fake ass history.
It. In school, if you don't follow the letter of the rule of the teacher, you get pounded on. You get thrown to the office. You get pushed out.
Yeah.
And if you follow the rules and you can follow everything, you get A+. You get on the dean's list, the principal's list.
Yeah.
It's all early indoctrination, telling you our forefathers wanted this, our forefathers wanted that. Our politicians. This was a great man.
Did you know George Washington wasn't the first president? Did you know that?
No.
There was 8 presidents before him.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, most of them lasted like a month, couple weeks. One, John Hancock lasted like 2 years. That was before George Washington. And then there was one more guy that lasted about a year. It was
Okay, I gotta look that up.
And then they finally got George Washington. They go, okay, this is going to be our first one. But nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the narrative.
And how about Brontosaurus? Do you know Brontosaurus never existed?
What?
Did you know that? Yeah. No one knows that. Nobody knows that.
Shut up. Why would they lie about that?
It was a fraud.
Why?
Well, this is the story. This is the mainstream story. The mainstream story
Aaron, how deep are we right now? Are you just sleeping or are you just fucked up? Are you turning us off?
No, okay, look, with the Brontosaurus thing, there was a when you're talking about animals that lived fucking 35 million years ago, and then we're supposed to learn from those animals that existed 35 from scientific institutions that are just fucking just dirty with corruption and bullshit and Rockefeller. Like you go, wait a minute. You're talking about some shit that lived 35 million, and you know what and then when you find out that there was no Brontosaurus, there's a dinosaur that looked like it before Brontosaurus. It's called like Apatosaurus or something like that. So they thought they found another version of that, and they called it Brontosaurus, right? And then they go, you know what? That has a fake head. You put a fake head. It's actually an Apatosaurus. So wait a minute, Brontosaurus. You guys are putting fake heads on.
Why are they doing that?
Dude, when you look into the Bone Wars, when dinosaurs were first discovered, and then there was archaeologists like. It was called the Bone Wars, and they were sabotaging their digs, faking skeletons, faking bones.
Aaron's nodded. There was a dollop about the Bone Wars?
Yeah, so there was a lot of fraud going on about the whole dinosaur shit. So I go, wait a
Holy
minute.
shit.
So all we know about dinosaurs came from these like bone wars. It's like
Really?
like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe dinosaurs existed or not. But then when you find out all the museums in the world, all those skeletons of dinosaurs, none of it's real. They saved the real bones in some vault that nobody has access
You're
to.
telling me all the bones you see in museums are not real bones?
None of them are real. That's mainstream, and they'll admit that. They'll go, yeah, they're too sensitive. We need to lock them up because people will touch them and then they'll break apart. And then you find out that they've found just a bone here, a bone there. There's no complete skeletons.
Really?
They'll have, like Tyrannosaurs, they never find a Tyrannosaurus head. They're just making that shit up. And go, wait a minute. If I'm not seeing, the only reason a skeleton of a dinosaur is cool, it's because it's the skeleton of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
If it's fake, just put some fake skin on it too. Why
Yeah.
are we looking at the bones? Why are we looking at the bone?
I
It's
never
only
knew
cool.
that.
It's only
You
cool
just
if it's
blew my
real.
mind.
It's only cool if it's real.
I loved dinosaurs as a kid. You just blew my fucking
Dude,
mind.
dinosaurs are for kids, dude. Dinosaurs are for kids. That's what's going on.
That's how I feel about Saturday Night Live, too.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to get into something real quick. Get your thoughts on Pizzagate. Okay, a lot of people talk about it. I did a little research. I watched some videos. I did some research. I Googled some shit. And I know everybody thinks... By the way, all Snoops does, everybody shoots down anything using Snoops. Snoops just Googles. It's literally, they've been busted. It's a guy and a woman, a man and his wife, who just Google shit. And they fucking tell...
Snopes or Snoops?
Is it
Snoops?
I thought it's Snoops. It's Snopes?
I thought you were talking about Snoop Dogg for a second. I'm like, what the fuck has he been saying?
Snow. Oh, you're right. It is Snopes. It is Snopes. Okay. So I did some research on Pizzagate. I want to run this by you and let me tell you, get your thoughts on it. You think it's real?
Well, basically,
yeah, you said it
basically this. If the mainstream media, Hillary and Obama and the CIA all agree on something, then I don't believe it. I believe the opposite. And then InfoWars on the other side is saying the opposite. I'm going to go with InfoWars. Because InfoWars that's the closest to the truth. I know they've been slammed and they have and the mainstream media smears them like they're fake news. But the irony is they're the real news. But if you think InfoWars and Alex Jones are the fake news, you've been had. Because I know Alex Jones personally. He's doing his best to find the truth and to fight for liberty. He's not trying to. He's a little paranoid, a little.
Well, he's
freaked
out there,
but he
dude.
has to be. Think about what he does. No, think about what he has to be.
Yeah,
fucking
where's
crazy.
Julian Assange right now?
yeah.
Where's Julian Assange? Anybody? Know who that guy is?
Alex Jones right now is going on a tear on the CIA because the CIA is like banning with Hillary and Obama. Think about this. If the CIA, Hillary, and Obama are pushing something, for me, that's 100% bullshit. There's no way you're going to get me. If they're all agreeing on some shit and the mainstream media is pushing it, Washington Post, CNN, New York Times.
By the way,
all
Hillary
bullshit.
was the one who started the whole, he's not really American. He wasn't really, she started that
She's
whole.
full of shit.
She's totally full of shit.
Yeah, all she does is lie.
She's just so thirsty for power, and it's so interesting that these people can totally buy in that the Russians have rigged the elections affected the election, but they refuse to accept that Hillary and the DNC fucking rigged the election against Bernie Sanders. Now, I'm not saying Bernie Sanders is the savior of anything, but when people step down from gigs in which they would stab their mother to get. You don't think Debbie Wasserman Schultz worked her ass off to be the head of the DMC, and that if I said, "Hey, you're doing illegal shit, you gotta step down," you think she'd just step down? Unless she was caught red-handed. Red fucking handed, and there was no way for her to fight it. And they knew if she didn't step down, the Bernie people would go nuts, and Hillary would never be able to get them back, which she never was able to, anyways. She got some of them, but most people bailed on her, anyways. But it's like people just project their own views onto Hillary that they couldn't believe that this woman literally manipulated every moment of this election, and then people are shocked she lost. She never, ever let the reality set in. She ran a 1980s, 1990s campaign before the internet.
And now look what happened. Everybody, she had everyone convinced. Well, the establishment for the last few years had everyone convinced that InfoWars and Alex Jones are just crazy motherfuckers, and they're conspiracy theorists. When the CIA coined the term conspiracy theorist to get people ridiculing conspiracy theorists. I mean, think about fucking that. You know what I mean? And then now. Shit, they underestimated InfoWars. They underestimated. Donald Trump was basically getting all his news from InfoWars. And Ron Paul, everyone knows Ron Paul's the truth. He's on InfoWars all the time. So if you believe InfoWars is some trashy National Enquirer type news outlet, you're wrong. They're the truth. InfoWars is the truth. Alex Jones is crazy, but he's out for the truth. He's out for liberty. And think about what he does. Get that InfoWars app and just listen to him if you're interested in the truth. Because if you're listening to CNN, CNBC, the Washington Post, New York Times, it's all controlled media. And what happened? They underestimated InfoWars. So now what do they want to do? Hillary and Obama are trying to ban InfoWars.
Do you see that?
They're trying to ban
something.
Yeah, they're trying to ban InfoWars. They're trying to call it fake news.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
If they pull that off, if Trump gets elected and he doesn't, if Trump doesn't stomp that out, then he's part of it. Then it was a big trick.
And I think looking at his cabinet, we're starting to realize he was part of it. And that there's going to be an argument that if Trump is as bad as everybody thought he was going to be, that the Clintons are the worst thing that ever happened to the country. The worst thing. I just want to go through this because I know we got to wrap up in a couple seconds, in a minute. I want to go through this thing. Pizzagate. Nobody wants to believe in it. Even though we saw the same thing happen in the highest levels of British government, where this one radio DJ, a famous radio DJ,
Jimmy Savile,
who was
How about
knighted.
that? Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
Look into him. Google Jimmy Savile.
Go deep on that.
And then go to YouTube and watch Conspiracy of Silence, which was going to be on Discovery Channel in the 90s and on BBC, and they got that shit pulled. Conspiracy of Silence breaks down exactly how this crazy ass shit works, and it's all based in Omaha, Nebraska, Boys Town. They get the kids from the orphanage. That's where they get most of their kids. And there's psychos within this ring who feel untouchable. They're above the law, and it's scary. No one's getting investigated. They like hunting children. So right now what's going on, this is real. Kids are being hunted. They're being kidnapped. They're being tortured. They're being put through MK Ultra and satanic rituals. And either they're also getting fucked, and then they let them live and just keep them around. They're good. They get them hooked on drugs, and they got them. They just keep them around for more parties and shit, or they kill them. Yeah, and they eat babies. And in these rituals, these satanic rituals where they have orgies, if someone gets pregnant, they have to sacrifice that baby. I'm pretty sure.
God damn.
This is what they think. They think if you eat babies, that it gives you
the life force.
It gives you force to rule. And then look at Rockefellers, man. They're living to 100. John D. Rockefeller was born in the 1800s when most people were dying when they're 35. He lived to like 90 something. And then look at David Rockefeller. He's had like 6 heart transplants, and he's 100. There might be something to eating babies, because those guys are living. They're definitely selling.
How about
it.
instead of juicing, you just go down and eat a baby?
Yeah. So that.
Aaron, can we eat your baby? And you have a baby?
What's scarier than that is that nobody's looking into it.
No, it's amazing how we'll flip out on some people. What's amazing is how people don't notice, and I just want to get into this thing, then we'll wrap it up. I'm amazed how people are okay with how the media runs with the Duke lacrosse rape case, or Derek Rhodes and this woman's allegations, or Kesha, who's never brought any criminal charges against this one DJ guy, but she's taken him to court financially to get out of contracts, claiming he raped her, but never criminally. And we just run with these guys' names, or whoever it is, run them through the front pages, destroy any chance of them ever doing anything, and then when it finds out it's fake, there's an apology on the 16th page.
Yeah.
But Pizzagate, 0 investigation. There's a hard rejection, almost wrong hole.
Scary.
Wrong hole and
Scary.
fake news. Not one investigation.
You know, I always wondered, why nobody ever goes into the Vatican and shuts that shit down, because everybody knows it's South Park even made a fucking episode about it. Everybody knows the Catholic priests, a large percentage of them, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, they're pedophiles.
Yeah.
And they get moved around. They get busted and they get moved. They get protected. And now it makes sense. It makes sense. They're protected because a lot of people high in power in key positions are all in on it.
2 people in my hometown got busted. Father Dan and another guy got busted for that shit. But they don't ask questions. How are you guys okay with that? There hasn't been a question. Here's what I want to do for you real quick. Here's my Pizzagate weird coincidence thing, okay? You know that Clinton, we see the flight logs of Clinton on the Lolita Express, who's ran by a guy who is a convicted pedophile, was a convicted sex offender pedophile. As I saw on the Rogan, the fight companion, Dennis Haskins, is that his name? The Speaker of the House got busted for being a what? Hester. Dennis Hester got busted being a pedophile, banging kids in high schools when he was a wrestling coach. So we know at the highest levels there's been association with that. Okay, the guy, this isn't the first time the Clinton Foundation has been associated with pedophilia. Okay, Laura Silsby, Silsbbe, who was part of the New Life Children's Refugee Group, okay? In Haiti, the big earthquake, tsunami, all that happens. This religious group goes there. She gets busted trying to kidnap 33 children. Most of them not even fucking orphans. Just they grabbed them off the street. Not only is she busted, she is tried and convicted and does time in Haiti. She's got busted, okay? The guy who walks in the Pizzagate, right, this kid who's got an IMDb, walks in with a gun demanding to see something. Him and his father work for Beyond Borders, right? It is a group that does what? Protects child trafficking in Haiti, okay? Who do you think funds both of those organizations?
Let me guess.
The Clinton Foundation.
Of course.
Has funded both Beyond Borders and the New Life Child Refugee Group that has already been busted stealing kids.
Yeah.
Guess where Beyond Borders is located? Across the street from Comic Ping Pong. It is on the same street as fucking Comic Ping Pong. Now the guy who runs Comic Ping Pong, he has a lawyer. His name is Andrew Klein, okay? Andrew Klein was in charge of the U.S. Department of Fighting Child Trafficking, okay? He is this guy's, I can't pronounce the owner's name, James Alefantis, okay? Guess what Andrew Klein owns? He owns something called Besta Pizza.
It's right next door.
Right across the street from Comic Ping Pong.
Yeah.
Now, dude, this is Besta Pizza's logo.
Yep.
Okay? This is the pedophile logo.
Yep.
That is the
They
U.S.
switched
government.
it real quick, though.
Oh, yeah.
They switched it.
It switched back to that.
Yeah.
That is fucking quinky dinks, man.
And nobody's investigating.
Nobody, except for Sam Tripoli late night as his girlfriend fucking snores. Sounds like she's deforestation and cutting down trees. My question is, you got to ask, man. You gotta ask what's going on out there. You gotta question everything, dude. Have fucking fun with it. It's fucking free. Have you ever worked for an asshole boss who fucking stealing your tips, treating you like shit, power hungry? If you can do it at the lowest levels at Kentucky Fried Chicken, how about the highest fucking levels where the game is fucking higher? You ever watch First 48?
No.
Dudes kill dudes. It's a murder. They solve murders. People kill people for $5. $5 fucking dollars, they'll kill somebody. And you're telling me you don't think someone kills somebody over trillions of dollars, billions of dollars?
Yeah.
Why? Because they wear suits and they're white people? People are people, man. We're all fucking wired. We're all caveman, and we want all the sources. We want all the resources, all the money, all the power. We want to be alphas, and we want to fuck everything that moves.
Yeah.
And with that comes corruption, dude. And it's just out there. I'm not saying Pizzagate is 100% real. I'm saying it's naive to say it can't happen. And my friend's like, it's not plausible that they're fucking kids in a pizza place. The guy who was the head of fucking Subway was fucking kids. That's a sandwich shop. I know he wasn't doing it in Subways, but he was.
He's not the head.
Well, he was the fucking face of it.
He's an actor.
Okay. All right. No, he wasn't an actor. He was actually a guy who ate Subway and lost weight by fucking kids. Well, Eddie Bravo, Thank you so much for doing the first episode.
Let's do this again.
I'll do
Part
it.
two.
I'm going to do it once a month whenever you're available. Come in, or there's a new big one coming up. I love it. Anything you want to push real quick? I know you have your invitationals all the time. And congratulations on getting it on UFC Fight Pass. That's fucking
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
You're doing so great. And, you know, I remember walking in your dojo a long time ago with my homeboy, Scott Ross. And he's gone on to get a black belt with you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier, man. And I'm so happy for you.
thank
You've
you.
always been a great person.
Thank
Always
you,
been
man.
a good guy. I don't see you at the Comedy Store as much, but when you were there, it was always great.
I'll never forget that one joke, man, when you said, this was back, I think, in the 2004 election at the Comedy Store. You had this one joke about, you were like, you know why hot chicks don't know what the fuck is going on politically? You know why? Because it doesn't matter for hot chicks. It wouldn't matter if Darth Vader came down and took over the United States. Those chicks are still going to go to VIP. They're still going to be VIP for Darth Vader. So that's why they don't give a shit.
During the election, when everybody...
What was the joke? I know I butchered it. Was it something? Do you remember it?
Well, I did a joke about how fucking Paris Hilton would get a fucking applause like fucking
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela leaving fucking
Yes,
prison for the
yes.
first time
Yeah.
when I bombed after her. And I was just talking now, like Instagram models. Go, anything tragic that happens. I love going on Instagram and seeing how the fucking models, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Ass up, face down, no matter
No,
what.
it
Darth
doesn't
Vader
matter.
could come down, take over the whole entire planet. He'd be walking around with 12 of the most smoking hot bitches you
Yeah.
ever think.
There'll always be VIP, no matter what. No matter who's running the world, as long as there's VIP.
Hitler
and you're
got
hot,
pussy,
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Hitler got pussy. You know he's fucking banging ass. He's killing Jews, and he's just banging ass. He got top shelf, dude.
Totally.
They don't give. We've never
Can
oppressed
you
hot
imagine
chicks.
Hitler in VIP?
We've never oppressed hot chicks. Even slavery, they were banging all the hot slave. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
fucking true, dude.
Yeah.
Bravo, you're the best. I
Thank
love
you,
you
man.
very
I
much.
love you
Thanks
too,
for
man.
having me
Thank
on. I
you.
appreciate you taking some time, guys. This has been Tinfoil Hat. If you liked it, you didn't like it, let me know. I'm gonna do these once a month, but if it picks up, I'll do it on a regular basis. Thanks for tuning in, and let me know what you think. Take care, guys.
Here, let me take a pic. Stay right there. Let me take a